So, jetzt begrüße ich aber auch die Leute auf YouTube dazu. Wir legen los. So, ich habe ja hier nochmal den Ort gewechselt. Hier gab es ja, glaube ich, auch nichts Neues, ne? Kann ich mit ihm nicht reden?
So long, Tim. I hope we won't meet again for a while.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine, boys.
So. Ja, hier bei den ganzen Sachen, da war ja nichts mehr. Auf ins Hotel Atlantis, auf zu unserer Wohnung.
Take a deep breath and think over what we knew so far. What the chickens had I got myself into? What had I dragged Marty into? Moreover, what had we pulled the whole city into? This was going to be one of those cases that changed things forever. But I wasn't worried about myself. It didn't matter to me. Too many pieces had been plucked off this old rooster. But Marty's different. He's too good of a bird and too good of a cop to end up like me.
A secret twin brother? Sonny, I'm starting to feel like we're really in a detective novel. A cheap one.
Yeah, but listen, Marty.
What is it, Boss Bird?
I think it's best if we go our separate ways.
What? Are you joking? I know you have a weak sense of humor, but there's a limit to everything.
I'm not joking, Marty.
Well, I certainly hope you are.
Whatever comes next, you don't need to be mixed up in it. You have someone to go home to.
Guys, damn it, Sonny. Can you hear yourself? What do you think? I endured all this to give up now? What do you take me for? No, pal. You're not getting rid of me so easily.
I just want you to keep your career and your life intact, you moron. Just accept it, shake my hand, and go home. Your wife, Laura's waiting for you.
One more word, Sonny, and I swear I'm gonna bash your beak in. I risked my life more than once tonight. You know why?
No. Why?
Because we're a team. We have been a team for almost a decade. I don't care what Blood Boil says or whatever's on a goddamn piece of paper. We're the chicken police, Sonny. And we always will be.
I'm sorry. You're right.
We're gonna go to that insane asylum and wrap this shit up fast and clean. Yeah, just like you said, even if it kills us.
Thanks, Marty. Without you, I'd most likely already be sleeping the big sleep.
Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Like you say, partner.
Let's drop this before you start crying on me, okay?
I hope not.
You almost just did.
Clock off, Marty.
That's the spirit. The Sonny I know and hate.
Sehr gut. Übrigens an alle Leute, die das jetzt live sehen, heute die große Enttäuschung. Heute gibt es im Anschluss kein Spiel bei Hutz. Ich weiß nicht, was für heute geplant gewesen wäre, aber heute gibt's nichts. Heute ist Hutz leider nicht verfügbar. Dementsprechend heute nur Chicken Police. Oh no. Ja. Heute nur Chicken Police. So, ich muss mal kurz meine Maus anstöpseln. Der ist gerade ein wenig der Saft ausgegangen. So.
I still have nightmares about the Great Fire.
Really? Were you alive then? How old are you exactly?
I was 3. And maybe it's not even a true memory. Just the collective memory of the city. I see the flames. I see the burning buildings. And I hear the screams.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought you weren't born in Clawville. Aren't you from Averia?
Exactly, Marty. We were just visiting Clawville when the fire broke out.
I'm surprised you ever returned.
Well, maybe that's the reason I did return, Marty. It's like when someone falls in love with their captor, you know? Somehow I feel like this is my place. No matter how much suffering it brings, Clawville's fate is intertwined with mine.
Heavy stuff.
Schlimm mit diesem Hutz. Nee, Hutz hat heute eine gute Ausrede. Hutz kann heute nicht. Heute ist Hutz leider belegt. Deswegen ist das auch vollkommen okay. So, gucken wir uns mal weiter um.
A stack of papers. Just looking at them makes me think of Monica. I've had enough stimulation for today.
You know, I thought about it multiple times that you might be Meredith H. Marble.
We've met her on a number of occasions, Marty. Remember? Her real name is Susie.
Maybe Susie's just an actress you hired.
You've read too much of that cheap garbage, Marty. There's no conspiracy theory. Susie's just a money-hungry little dame who made a fortune off of us. That's all.
Yeah, you're disappointing.
I know.
Ich finde es schön, dass jedes Mal, wenn wir hier ankommen, wir ein paar neue Dialoge kriegen.
A closet that's closed forever, like an old movie theater.
The old days. You know, I miss him sometimes.
What? The hype? Us as celebrity cops?
Nah, the work, the buzz, the phone ringing at 4 a.m. and knowing if you pick it up, you'll be dragged into something terrible, because that's your job. And of course, you pick it up every clucking time.
I'm not sure it's healthy to enjoy that.
Hey, no healthy animal becomes a cop in Clawville.
Yeah, true. When all of this is over, I'm gonna go on that long journey.
It would be best to board it up. It'd go well with this rundown neighborhood.
It may be run down, but somehow I still feel like it's honest.
Sure, you could live in Cockroach Town. That's an honest place, too. Has a similar stink.
Believe me, Marty, I thought about it.
Why am I not surprised?
So. Gut. Marty.
Thanks for everything, pal. Truly.
Don't mention it, Sonny. If it weren't for you, nobody would have tried to kill me with a Tommy gun or set fire to a ship with me in it.
Heh, how lucky you are, huh?
Damn right.
What do you think, Marty?
What? You care what I think? You must have hit your head pretty bad.
Stop fooling around, Marty. I'm serious. So what do you think? About everything?
Well, I think we're in deep shit. But to be honest, Ibn Wessler is in deeper shit.
Do you think he really murdered his brother? But why? And what does it have to do with Natasha and the threats?
Doesn't add up yet. Something's missing. Let's visit the institution and try to find out what we can about this Albert Wessler fella.
Exactly. If he's the dead body, we've got to know what the motive was. If we can't, and if he's still alive, we gotta ask him directly.
And what do you think, Sonny?
I think Ibn, Albert, and Natasha are the three key players in this case, and that all of it has something to do with the brothel.
And the fact that Natasha used to be a... courtesan?
Yeah, that too. Oh, just forget it, Marty, okay? She's not part of my life anymore, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Forget it. Let's concentrate on the case, and on making it out alive, and helping Natasha, too.
Whatever you say, Boss Bird. So you think Natasha's really in danger?
It could be, or she could even be behind everything.
No, you don't believe that.
I'm not sure what I believe, Marty. Let's see. Things got mixed up at the brothel.
Okay. Natascha. Der Gemäldefetzen? Nee. Eben wahrscheinlich. Kann ich eben da hinlegen? Ich kann auch eben da hinlegen. Ja, Wrestlers Twin. Passt aber noch nicht so ganz. Okay. Nataschas Secret, okay. Mal sehen. Am Modell wurde die Sache kompliziert. Eben hat herausgefunden, dass Natascha die ganze Zeit eine Spionin für Cybers gewesen ist. Natascha hat ein Modell gearbeitet und Cybers wollte das geheim halten, weil Natascha mit Im zusammen ist. Natascha war früher Kurtisane und eben wollte, dass es ein Geheimnis bleibt. Schon eher. Natascha war die Geliebte von Zip und eben weiß das. Ja, eher das Dritte.
Natasha used to work there, that's obvious. And Ibn wanted to keep that a secret.
So. Könnte wichtig sein, aber nicht im Moment. Nataschas Schlüssel, ne? Achso, das Armband, ja. Von seinem Bruder. Anscheinend ein Geheimnis, für das jemand anders bezahlen musste. Zip hat sich um die Leiche gekümmert und das Armband behalten. Zip hat jemanden umgebracht, damit das geheim bleibt, auf den Befehl von Ibn Wessler. Das Armband ist der Schlüssel. Es ist der Beweis dafür, dass Zip jemanden wegen Nataschas Geheimnis umgebracht hat. Nee, Zip hat ja niemanden umgebracht. Zip hat Ibn Wessler das Armband gestohlen. Ja.
Zip hid the body, but he kept the wristband.
Zip hat ja niemanden getötet. Ja.
Who could it belong to?
Dem könnte das Armband gehört haben. Jemand aus der königlichen Familie. Ibn Wessler war die ganze Zeit nur eine Marionette von Cybers? Nein. Albert Wessler, Insasse eines Sanatoriums für Geistesgestörte? Ja. Der Tote war Ibn Wessler, allerdings, wer ist denn in Wirklichkeit der Mörder? Das ist auch eine Möglichkeit. Es gibt keine Leiche und das ist alles nichts als Lug und Trug und Zip ist der Urheber dieser ganzen Charade. Nein. Albert.
Was almost certainly Albert Wessler, a resident of an insane asylum. But why did he have to die?
Wir haben noch keinen Hinweis, dass es Ibn war statt Albert. Und solange wir keinen Hinweis explizit haben, gehen wir mal nicht davon aus. So, wir haben einen neuen Ort. Insane Asylum. Also das Institut für Geistesgestörte. Ein psychiatrisches Institut mit absurd langem Namen und einer ebenso absurd langen Geschichte. Auf den Bildern sieht es aus wie eines von diesen Fledermäuse-umkreisten Spukschlössern, die man in billigen Horrorfilmen zu sehen bekommt. Ja, es ist ja... Wir sind ja hier wahrscheinlich so ungefähr in den 70ern, da waren solche Dinger noch nicht so, wie sie heute sind.
So where exactly is this place?
A few hours drive from here, in the middle of nowhere. It's a creepy old mansion, of course.
You think it's a good idea to go there? What if it's a trap?
I told you, you can still go back.
Huh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserve that.
You still trust her?
I never trusted her, Marty.
I mean, you believe her?
I'm sure she was honestly afraid. People don't fake it that easy. But I can understand why she didn't tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah, that too. And the death of Deborah complicated things even more.
Hey, Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right? I mean, Natasha.
Ah, don't be stupid, Marty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, all right, boss.
Naja, ein bisschen haben die Augen ihn schon verwirrt. Ach ja, die gute alte Zeit der Sanatorien. Lobotomie for the win. Das heilt viele Sachen.
So what do you think happened to the corpse?
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but even if half of what they say about the hive is true, starvation, riots, arson, predation.
You're telling me. Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn once again. And because of its own foolishness.
Well, that's if another meat war doesn't break out first. 'Cause then, the whole wilderness will burn.
Lovely prospects, eh?
Either way, it was a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in Roachtown.
It's the only place no one will ever find it.
Like the belly of a burning ship.
Oh, I think that was an intentional red herring.
Sounds about right.
Ja. Und ja, es heilt vieles. Also glaub mir, es gibt auch einige Leute, denen würde ich eine Lobotomie gönnen. Ja. Reden wir noch ein bisschen.
I believed that little rat. I thought he changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Marty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming right now, leave it all to hell and have another drink.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
So. Meint ihr
I've
noch
had
ein...
enough stimulation.
Okay, doch kein Drink mehr. Für den Kodex. Da. Der Fleischkrieg. Der große Fleischkrieg war der größte und blutigste Konflikt in der Geschichte der Wildnis und dauerte von 1822 bis 822 bis 849. Anfänglich wurde nur der doppelköpfige Kontinent Alterra von ihm erfasst, aber in späteren Jahren breitete er sich auch in die 12 kolonialen Provinzen einschließlich der 4 Kolonien von Quetzal aus. Während des Fleischkriegs kamen 80 bis 90 Millionen Tiere ums Leben und nach dem Krieg wurden 27 Arten für ausgestorben erklärt. So, wir haben ihn jetzt über alles befragt, aber irgendwas haben wir noch nicht angeguckt. Muss ich wen anrufen? Ich wüsste aber gar nicht wen. Ich habe, glaube ich, keine Nummer. Oder muss ich jetzt nochmal die Dings angucken?
You're the best, Bubo. You finally proved useful.
555 966. 5 9 6 6.
Hello. You've called the Let There Be Peace Forever mental institution for ill and damaged minds. What can I do for you, sir? Or madam?
Well, I'd like to inquire about a patient who I believe is being treated at your institution. His name is Albert Wessler.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out that information if you don't have the password given to relatives. Do you have one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not a relative. I'm calling from the Clawville Police Department.
Oh, I see. In that case, officer, I'd advise you to visit our institution personally. Our director and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, miss. I guess I'll do that.
We'll welcome you with open arms, sir. Have yourself a beautiful starlit night.
Oh, thanks. Goodbye.
See you soon.
Ja, persönlich vorbeikommen machen wir doch gerne.
So,
We have to go there.
the thought gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps aren't good enough for you?
Ha ha ha.
Ja, wir dürfen nicht. Wir dürfen nicht hinfahren. Noch nicht. Muss ich nochmal mit Marty drüber reden?
So, I get the couch?
It'd be better if I called Lewis. He'll open up a room for you to sleep in.
Whew, great idea.
Ach Gott, wie war denn die Nummer von Louis? Oh, Telefonbuch. Das ist die Zeit, in der wir noch Telefonbücher hatten.
Please.
More like, well, you'll get old of it.
Never.
Obwohl, das ist tatsächlich was Neues.
I'd still like to take a peek inside.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Marty. I wouldn't do it if I were me, either.
Oh, it gets more and more enticing. I'd still like to...
Okay, das ist jetzt wieder dasselbe. Ja, wie kann ich denn Louis anrufen? Habe ich Louis Telefonnummer gespeichert. Personen. Louis. Da 555932.
Hey, Louis, it's me again.
Oh, hello, Sonny. What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
Naturally, Sonny.
Thanks, Louis. I'm not even gonna say it.
I will. You owe me one. Again.
Yeah.
Ja, jetzt haben wir immerhin einen Raum. So, dürfen wir jetzt schlafen gehen? Naja. Ach, jetzt dürfen wir wechseln. Nervenheilanstalt. Und wir dürfen auch nirgendwo anders hin. Oh, das neue Kapitel.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa. My darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there? Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red. Painted red. Painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this...
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
Ich habe das Gefühl, unser guter Sonny sollte vielleicht auch mal mit einem Arzt reden. Wäre vielleicht gar nicht so verkehrt. Oh, ein farbiges Bild. Ja, das ist tatsächlich eigenartig. Weil es hat Farbe.
This picture...
It's very...
special? It's special.
Es ist sehr special. Es hat Farbe.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
Diarrhea, Kolonien und Fleischkriege. Ja. Eventuell Anlehnung Erster Weltkrieg. Vielleicht auch Zweiter, man weiß es nicht.
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
Naja, heute ist das ja nicht mehr so schlimm, wenn man da ist. Früher war das ja auch so ein Ort, an dem man einfach Leute abgeschoben hat.
We should go to reception first. Let them know we're here. We should check in first.
Okay.
Ah, like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Schön, ja, das stimmt. Als Giraffe ist die Hälfte nach oben.
Of all the great wild
Wir kriegen den
ones,
Kopf nicht zu sehen.
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumy, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God, oh God, oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Okay, sie ist offenbar ein riesengroßer Fan. Und, naja, wir werden wohl nie ihr ganzes Gesicht, also nie ihr Gesicht sehen dürfen. Weil wenn ich hier gucke, die Nurse, selbst auf dem Bild sieht man ihr Gesicht nicht. Krankenschwester Miranda, sie ist eine Giraffe. Weiblich, voller Leben, voller Hoffnung, voll von praktisch allem. Sie ist auch ein riesengroßer Fan von uns, leider. Riesengroß trifft's. Eine übermäßig nette Krankenschwester, die wir am Eingangsschalter des Sanatoriums trafen. So ist die Luft ja auch dünner, das stimmt. Sie heißt Miranda, sie ist ein großer Fan der Chicken Police. In geradezu peinlichem Maße. Gut, dann befragen wir sie doch mal.
Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Das ist total unrealistisch. Da sind viel zu viele Krankenschwestern, die sich um die Patienten kümmern. Wir haben Pflegernotstand. Da müssen noch mindestens 3 weg. Aber naja, gut. Ich habe ja schon mal gesagt, sind so ungefähr 70er. Da war das noch nicht ganz so.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho... what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet, other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like, Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Naja, den werden wir wohl schon irgendwo herkriegen. Den Dr. Jesus. Sius.
What can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the chicken police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a
Das ist
matter of
gemein.
life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
Okay. Bestätigt aber zumindest mal. Sie wirkt viel zu entspannt. Eigentlich müsste sie schon längst zum nächsten Patienten gegangen sein. Schon zu den nächsten 5.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
Quetzal ist ja eine Kurzform für Quetzalcoatl wahrscheinlich. Was ist er da, eine Schlange?
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Und dafür ist es zu spät.
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly.
Er ist tatsächlich eine Schlange.
Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Ich will mich erstmal bei dir im Büro umgucken.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Das Fenster haben wir noch, den Tisch haben wir noch. Auch die Wände ist
Is
dasselbe?
this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
Ja klar, größere Tiere brauchen auch größere Räume, ist ja klar.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient, am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Das stimmt. Das ist wahr. Der Unterschied ist nicht so groß.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up.
Ja, aber er hat recht. Also ich glaube auch, Sonny sollte sich vielleicht eine Stunde geben lassen.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Quetzal, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
Das ist sogar wirklich Quetzal Coatl, okay.
Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Ja, den müssen wir jetzt aber auch nicht befragen. Ich glaube, der wird auch so ohne wirklich ein Verhör nichts rausrücken. War das nicht ein Flugsaurier? Nein. Quetzalcoatl, also ja und nein. Quetzalcoatl ist eine Gottheit, ich glaube von Azteken war es, glaube ich. Das war eine riesige Schlange, wenn ich mich jetzt nicht irre. Und der Quetzalcoatlus, der ist nach Quetzalcoatl benannt, ist allerdings ein Flugsaurier. Ich hoffe, das beantwortet die Frage zu deiner Zufriedenheit.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
Okay. Wir können ihn jetzt schon vernehmen. Ich will aber den Rest noch haben. Okay, seine Familie steht mit der Königsfamilie. Gut. Und sie machen das kostenfrei. Das heißt, sie werden ordentlich gefördert.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Okay.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Ja. Ist es Hector? Ganz sicher eine Spinne. Jede Spinne heißt Hector, also muss auch jeder Hector ganz sicher eine Spinne sein. Nein. Das ist erstens falsch und zweitens ist der falsche Umkehrschluss.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Bin ich mal gespannt. Wie wir das, also wie man geheimnisvoll ausnutzen soll, habe ich keine Ahnung.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Geil. stellt sich mir jetzt die Frage, hat irgendjemand auf Im geachtet, als wir mit ihm geredet haben? Haben sich seine Augen auch die ganze Zeit bewegt? Hat er den Raum observiert? Man weiß es nicht. Ja. Ich glaube, ich rede mal. Er ist detailversessen. Ja, welche Art von Behandlung erhielt Albert?
What kind of
Besser.
special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wrestler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Okay, also das war schon mal richtig. Wie verhielt sich Albert Ihnen gegenüber? Wie beurteilen Sie Albert beim ersten Treffen? Glauben Sie... ich glaube, mit dem mittleren fahren wir ganz gut, weil ich glaube, bei ihm müssen wir wirklich so seine Detailversessenheit ausnutzen und ihn über seine Arbeit reden lassen.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Okay. Schön, dass wir noch geschlechterspezifische Sachen hier haben. Schön viele Vorurteile.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Ja, bisher machen wir das doch eigentlich ganz gut. Wie konnten Sie zulassen? Nee, das ist ein Vorwurf. Das ist Quatsch. Albert konnte einfach rein und rausgehen. Ja, Sie haben mir aber noch nicht alles erzählt, nicht wahr? Wann und warum verließ er das? Das sind Details.
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him?
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Okay, der hat das Bild gemalt. Interessant. Hat Albert Ihnen gesagt, wie er über das Bild dachte? Er war so häufig abwesend, um weiter an dem Bild zu malen. Hat sich er je zu Natascha geäußert? Hat er jemals... Bin verwirrt. Was meint ihr denn? Bild oder... Natascha ist, glaube ich, Quatsch. Und ich glaube, wie er über das Bild dachte, ist auch Quatsch. Okay, jetzt kommt gerade keine Antwort. Das ist ein bisschen ungünstig. Könnte man fast meinen. Gut, dann muss ich jetzt entscheiden und ich nehme das untere. Auf die Gefahr hin, dass es falsch ist.
Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother?
Rarely. He respected and loved his brother, but when he came to talk, he was usually angry.
Oh, why?
Oh, fear, jealousy, frustration, rivalry, maybe all of these combined.
-5. Aber das heißt, er hat wohl wirklich seinen Bruder nicht gemocht. Das heißt, das wäre auf jeden Fall ein Motiv oder zumindest eine Möglichkeit, warum er ihn umgebracht hat, um seine Position einzunehmen, wenn er eifersüchtig war. Also ist theoretisch möglich. Nicht gesichert, aber ist eine Theorie.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous?
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
Okay. Da habe ich jetzt so ein bisschen die Sache. Ja. Albert kam zurück, aber eventuell hatte Albert da schon mit seinem Bruder getauscht, Weil wenn sie ihm die Zunge entfernt haben, dann konnte er nicht mehr reden und nicht mehr sagen, wer er wirklich ist. Eventuell haben sie das ausgenutzt. Ich meine, er hätte es noch aufschreiben können, aber wer weiß, in was für einem Zustand der war. Was die Kerle betrifft, die zurückbrachten, können Sie sie beschreiben? Er ist verwirrt, ja. Soll ich das unter? Ja, ich nehme mal das untere.
You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right?
Of course not. I'm not naive. I knew immediately that Albert had been severely battered, and I was sure it had been his brother, Hobart.
Well, we don't know that, Dr. Quetzal. Take it easy, Doc. One of the most critical elements of my job is not to make assumptions.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Featherland. I'm sorry I got carried away.
It's all right. Happens to everyone.
Das gab richtig Minus. Mist. 30 Jahre Bremen-Doktor, wie war Alberts Zustand nach den Ereignissen? Konzentrieren Sie sich. Tja, das... Ja, nach den Ereignissen interessiert mich mehr.
Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone, Detective.
Sorry, Doc. I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in words, but also in his soul and spirit.
What do you mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
Oh, ja, das ist ein tatsächliches Zeichen dafür, dass er ausgetauscht wurde.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Das sollte 4 Sterne geben. Ja. Am Ende habe ich was versaut, aber ansonsten war mir gut. Abschließender Gedanke. So wird's gemacht, Partner. Nicht ganz wie in den alten Zeiten, aber du hast noch drauf. Ein paar Tricks hat der alte Gockel wohl noch auf Lager. Was? Wichtiger Hinweis. Albert Weßler ist verschwunden. Wir haben einen Verdacht, was mit ihm passiert sein könnte. Albert Weßler ist nicht verschwunden. Ibn Weßler ist hin. Aber Albert Weßler ist da. Also das war tatsächlich der richtige Gedanke. So, wir haben neue Hinweise und neues Zeug. Wir müssen jetzt erstmal alles lesen. Ups, das war eins zu viel. Albert Weßler ist verschwunden. Wir haben einen Verdacht, was mit ihm passiert sein könnte. Ibn hat höchstwahrscheinlich seinen eigenen Bruder Albert Weßler auf dem Gewissen. Und er zwang Sib dazu, die Leiche zu beseitigen. Jedenfalls scheint es derzeit das plausibelste zu sein. Ah, es klingt mehr nach was anderem. Dr. Seuss im Quetzal wahrscheinlich eine Anspielung an Dr. Seuss. Den die meisten ja wahrscheinlich von Cat in the Hat oder von dem... Wer spricht nochmal für die Bäume? Ich mag den Film, aber jetzt komme ich gerade nicht auf den Namen. Das ist mein Lieblings-Dr. Seuss-Werk. Portner hat eine Hu ist übrigens auch Dr. Seuss oder der Grinch. Ich komme jetzt gerade nicht auf mein Lieblingswerk, es tut mir leid. Ein grüner Baumpython. Okay. Merkmal, kalt, distanziert, professionell. Bei seinem Anblick läuft es mir eiskalt über den Rücken. Der Professor ist ein wahrer Universalgelehrter, Wissenschaftler, Autor, Philosoph und was weiß ich noch alles. Die Familie des Professors verwaltet die Nervenheilanstalt und das umliegende Grundstück seit mehr als 100 Jahren. Ein recht beeindruckendes Stück Geschichte, nicht wahr? Er ist gefühlskalt, reserviert und in seinem Fachgebiet absolut professionell. Aber was Albert widerfahren ist, hat selbst ihn erschüttert. Eigentlich nicht überraschend, finde ich. Das könnte der Volltreffer sein, den wir suchen. Albert Wessler ist aus dem Sanatorium verschwunden. Alberts Bruder Im nahm ihn mehrfach aus dem Sanatorium mit, damit er das ominöse Bild von Natascha malen konnte. Meine Herren, ich glaube, wir haben ein Motiv. Haben noch viel mehr, weil der wichtigste Hinweis steht nicht dabei. Dass seine Anfälle aufgehört haben. Seit der Gründung wurde achso, Moment, was ist das? Da hast du die Halbjahrhundertbesetzung, okay. Seit der Gründung wurde erstmal der Versuch unternommen, den Stadtstaat von Clawville zu erobern. Die etwa ein halbes Jahrhundert dauernde Besatzung begann. Die etwa ein halbes Jahrhundert dauernde Besatzung begann 1622 und hielt bis 1677 an. In dieser Phase übernahm das Imperium von Harra die Kontrolle über fast alle Gebiete von Clawville. Unbesetzt blieben nur die Kolonien, denen es letzten Endes im Bund mit Swolasso und Vlavoslavien gelang, die Stadt zurückzuerobern. Diese Namen. Er ist im Herzen immer noch ein Arzt und kein Wissenschaftler. Kann er nicht auch beides sein?
That's quite shocking information.
I think
600, Entschuldigung.
understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Well, that's, surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here. I can almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
Ja, ganz offensichtlich. Also, es ist jetzt für uns als Zuschauer relativ offensichtlich. Ich weiß nicht, wie offensichtlich es für mich in der Situation wäre. Aber es wirkt ja schon sehr, sehr klar, dass Im und Albert ausgetauscht wurden. Es wird zumindest sehr darauf hingedeutet. Am Ende ist es vielleicht ein roter Hering.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. 2 men and 1 woman. Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please, stitch up your beak, okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Ja, wir bleiben kinderfreundlich. Wir reden da jetzt nicht drüber.
Look at that. A letter. Scribbles, newspaper articles, study papers, poems. Perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Ja, Ray, du hast recht. Es wird einem zu sehr mit dem Holzhammer reingehauen. Vielleicht ist es ein roter Hering.
No way. Is this some kind of puzzle?
I don't think so.
Das ist die Cat in the
But we
Hat.
could still find something important here. A pattern, a sign, anything.
Augen. Ganz viele Augen. Und hier ist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Er malt hier. Okay, das nützt nichts. Also wir haben sie. Hier haben wir die Katze. Ganz, ganz viele Augen. Kann ich erstmal nichts mit anfangen. Weiß ich nicht, worauf ich drücken soll.
The style. It's very familiar to me.
You've been lonely for far too long, huh?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little.
Der Stil ist der gleiche wie bei Madame Savers. Scheinen 2 Phasen gewesen zu sein. Das Rote kam erst später drüber. Du hast recht. Wenn ich das so richtig sehe, wurden zuerst die blauen Sachen gemalt. Vielleicht auch die grünen. Oder sind die... Ah, warte mal. Nee, macht er nicht. Weil gelb ist da drüber. Gelb kam danach. Aber weiß kann es auch nicht sein, weil weiß ist hier drüber. Nee, weiß ist über blau und über gelb. Dementsprechend kann weiß nicht das erste gewesen sein. Weiß ist nur von rot überdeckt. Alles andere ist hinter weiß. Kann maximal... Oh, ich kann abkratzen. Ah. Machen wir gleich. Wartet mal. Wir gucken uns erstmal den Rest an, bevor wir das machen.
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always.
Klingt für mich eigentlich ganz angenehm.
A small window, a small hope.
Okay, dann kratzen wir uns mal die Wand ab. Da muss ich hier irgendwas nachmalen. Das ist es nicht. Muss ich denn malen? Je mehr ich male, desto mehr geht weg. Soll ich die Zahlen hier nehmen? Naja, dafür reicht's auch nicht. Ich habe echt keine Ahnung, was er will. Er hat halt gesagt, höchstens die Handschrift. Das Rote, was drüber kam. Oh, vielleicht das hier. Das hier könnte der Unterschrift sein. Eben Wessler.
That design. It's like 2 letters.
Exactly. And where have we seen these 2 letters?
Where?
Think, Marty. Let's take a look in our bag.
That piece of painting. Of course. So it's a signature. A.W., that's...
Albert Wessler, the painter. This was what Natasha wanted to show us. The link between Ibn, Albert, and her.
It all started with the painting.
Yeah, and it'll end when we find the painting.
With Ibn Wessler.
Maybe, but I have another theory too.
Ja, wahrscheinlich die gleiche, die wir haben. Wir werden ja sehr stark drauf gestoßen derzeit. Oh.
Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that.
Kriegen wir den nicht auch auf Deutsch angezeigt? Okay. Ich weiß, dass ich nicht existiere. Ich existiere nicht, weil du mich nicht siehst, aber ich bin nicht, was du denkst, dass ich bin. Du denkst nicht an mich, oder? Niemals, nein. Ich denke jeden Tag an dich, jede Minute, immer. In meinen Träumen bin ich eins mit ihm. Eine Seele. Du weißt, an wen ich denke, richtig? Kannst du das fühlen? Kannst du fühlen, dass ich auch dort bin mit dir? Du fühlst es, richtig? Ich kann es nicht in mir für so lange halten. Vergib mir. Vergib mir, bitte. Es tut mir leid, aber ich kann es nicht verhindern. Ich kann nichts daran ändern. Die Welt stürzt zusammen. Die ganze Welt verrottet und verrottet. Alles verrottet um mich herum. Ich muss hier raus, um eins mit meinem Schicksal zu werden. Und eins mit dir. Vergib mir.
Albert was madly in love with Natasha.
Ja, das hatten wir.
Identical twins. And looking at
Ja, das hatten wir
it's
schon
a
mal.
piece of a painting. Judging by how well it was hidden, I'm sure this is what Natasha wanted to show us. What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty.
What do you mean?
Everything will be revealed soon.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what now? Where to?
Back to Clawville, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
You're driving me crazy. But all right, let's go home.
Das heben wir uns aber fürs nächste Mal auf. Albert hatte sich tragisch in Natascha verliebt. War das der Grund für seinen Tod? Eventuell, eventuell. Kann ich noch... Ah, ich kann jetzt keine Nebensachen mehr machen.
Farewell, Miranda, dear. Lovely to meet you.
So, you'll remember my name?
Marty McChicken never forgets, ma'am.
Oh,
Furry gods. Let's go. Goodbye, miss. It was a pleasure.
goodbye, gentlemen. And happy investigating.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
If there's anything I can help you with, please just ask.
Thank you, Miranda. You've already helped enough.
Adi, keine Zeit zum Flirten. So, dann wechseln wir mal ins Hotel, damit es
I
speichert.
don't believe this. Those two again?
Take him out. My car won't last much longer.
Don't worry, Sonny. I was born to do this.
Oh Gott, schon wieder das.
Concentrate, Marty, for the God's sake.
Can you drive like you're not a fucking lunatic?
Shut up and shoot, you big feather pillow. Are you blind or what? Where did you learn to shoot?
Eigentlich immer schön auf die Reifen, ne?
Whew. Well, that was close.
A little too close for my taste, and it only strengthens my belief. Wessler is desperate. He knows if we survive, he's done for.
Oh, come on. What did you work out? Will you tell me already?
Sure. Let's put the picture together, piece by piece. Let's start from the beginning. So,
Ach komm, wir setzen das jetzt noch zusammen. Ne, die tödliche Liebe will er nicht. Vaterlauf will er auch nicht. Nataschas Secret, ne? Okay. Eben will er nicht. Natascha. Nataschas Geheimnis? Ne. Da Liebe. Ne. Richtig. Ah, der Gegenstand der Gemäldefetzen. Fangen wir an. Also, wir haben einen Fall. Natascha wollte das Bild von uns geheim halten. Natascha wollte, dass wir das Bild sehen. Natascha wollte, dass wir das Bild für sie finden. Natascha musste das Bild zerstören, um zu verheimlichen, was mit Albert Wessler passiert ist. Natascha wollte, dass wir das Bild sehen.
Natasha tried to show us the painting.
Könnte wichtig sein, aber nicht im Moment.
And that painting would have shown us the way.
Ja, hätte uns auf die richtige Fährte geführt. Zum geheimen Versteck von Eben Wessler, das wir noch finden müssen. Ne, zu Eben und Albert Wessler. Albert malte Natascha. Er traf sie mehr als nur einmal. Zur Leiche von Albert Wessler, die mittlerweile natürlich verschwunden ist, dank Zip. Zum Sanatorium, wo wir herausfinden, dass Eben Albert getötet hat, weil er etwas über das Bild herausgefunden hatte. Ich glaube eher das da.
Gibbon and Albert Wessler. Albert painted Natasha, so he met her on more than one occasion.
Nee, das will er nicht.
Which made Albert.
Das heißt, Albert hat sich in Natascha verliebt, in einer schicksalhaften Nacht seinen Bruder umgebracht, um diesen in aller Stille zu ersetzen und Natascha für sich zu gewinnen. Ja. ist aus dem Sanatorium geflohen, um in dem dunklen Wald, der ringsherum liegt, als Wahnsinniger zu Hause? Nein. Hat sich Natascha verliebt und ist aus dem Sanatorium in sein geheimes Gesteck geflohen, das wir noch finden müssen? Nein. Hat seinen Bruder getötet, seinen Platz eingenommen und Natascha dazu gezwungen, mit den Drogen diesen Fall entstehen zu lassen. Wahrscheinlich eher das da.
Fell in love with Natasha. And on a fateful night, he killed his brother so he could take his place in secret and win Natasha's heart.
Fall abgeschlossen.
So what happens now?
The inevitable, Marty. We're going to the Wessler mansion to confront Ibn with the facts.
You mean Albert, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Natasha.
Do you think she knew about it?
Something stinks, Marty. The whole case seems too intricate.
Too many coincidences, right?
Well, well, after 10 years, you did learn something, didn't you?
9.
You're right.
Huh.
What?
You just laughed, Sonny.
What? No, I snorted.
No, you laughed.
Ah, just leave it, Marty.
I'll be telling this to my grandchicks.
All right, pal, that's enough.
Okay. So, Albert fell madly in love with Natasha and decided to have her for himself.
And his best chance was to trade places with Ibn Wessler.
So that's why the torn out tongue.
Yeah, Ibn couldn't squeal even if he wanted to.
What a diabolical plan.
More like insane.
But why the messages then? Why the threats? Albert got what he wanted. He could have got away with it.
I'm not a psychologist, Marty, but remember what the doctor told us. Albert has a seriously injured mind and a split personality. I think his two identities were at war with each other.
So the messages were written by one of his personalities, consumed by jealousy?
Something like that, Marty. But we can only learn the whole truth from him.
You're right. So, are we going or what?
We're going, Marty, to finally finish what we started.
Well, if there's anything you'd like to do before, do it now, boss. You won't have a chance later.
You're right, Marty. It's time to wrap everything up.
Oh, das klingt stark nach Finale. Wochenendhaus, Hotdog, Zeitungsstand, Bobos Wohnung. Das klingt nach Finale. Eigentlich möchte ich ja gerne das beim nächsten Mal fertig machen. Albert ist Ibn Wessler. Der geisteskranke Albert hat den Platz seines Bruders eingenommen und versucht jetzt alle Spuren zu verwischen. Wenn wir ihn jetzt nicht überführen, ist es vielleicht zu spät. Der Flohbalg hat jetzt schon zum 3. Mal versucht, uns um die Ecke zu bringen. Natürlich ohne Erfolg. Hoffentlich gibt es kein 4. Mal.
I see we're ready.
You'll need a shotgun for this kind of deal, Marty. Maybe even that won't be enough.
Nothing to fear while Bertha's here. Even less because you're here too with Mr. Sinclair, of course.
Should I cry?
That would be nice for a change.
Okay, da ist der Eingang. Da ist Louis. Aufgegebenes Geschäft. Was ist, wenn ich jetzt zum Wochenendhaus gehe? Kann ich da noch hin?
We're looking for more evidence?
No, I was just thinking we could take another look. You know, just in case.
Okay, sure. But
Don't even ask, Marty.
you're really becoming sentimental.
One more word and I swear I'm...
Yep, I'm gonna shut it.
So, ich will nämlich mal gucken, dass wir da auch wieder hin können. Ja, können wir, okay. Dann würde ich sagen, das machen wir alles beim nächsten Mal. Und wir haben wahrscheinlich nicht mehr viel, aber ich denke, eine halbe Stunde werden wir noch rausholen können. Und dann ist das Spiel tatsächlich vorbei. Also, bleibt gespannt. Lasst mir jetzt einen Daumen nach oben da, ein nettes Kommentar. Und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal, wenn es dann weitergeht mit Chicken Police. Bis dann. Euer Wolf, macht euch noch einen schönen Abend und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Nächste Woche. Macht es gut.